Alright, so the local place that we've got will take oil, but they won't take antifreeze. So if you've got antifreeze mixed in with your oil, then you're going to have a problem. So what I've ended up doing is I've started separating the antifreeze from the oil, and then you can turn the oil in and good time for you. And antifreeze, well, that's going to be a different deal to deal with. But here's how I do it. So what I end up doing is I've got a funnel here. I put the funnel into the top here, and I pour from one container up into the top of this, and I make sure that I put a vent in here, because one of the things I discovered right off the bat is if you have your funnel tossed into here, jammed in nice and tight, as soon as you pour in there, what's going to end up happening is that's the only place for air to escape, and it's going to splatter back up and get all over the place. Ask me how I know. So after you've taken your material, and I usually shake it up really good before I put it in here. And the reason why is because there's lots of particulates and things like that that may get stuck in the funnel going through. So it's just easier to shake the living crap out of whatever you're getting ready to pour into the filter. Then I pour it into the filter and I let it sit overnight, and then this is what I end up with. So now I've got a line here. There's my oil. And I drill a hole through a cap. It's press fit. And then this comes down to a valve. And then that comes down to, oops, almost fell over, my receiving container. So my receiving container, once I open this valve up, will allow this stuff to start coming down pretty quickly. And then all I have to watch for at that point is I have to make sure as soon as I see anything here to stop that flow. In this case, this valve is really terrible for this. You should use a ball valve that you can shut off immediately. So what I end up having to do is I have to pick this container up to above the level of where the oil's coming out, and then make sure that this line is not in the fluid, because then it'll act like a siphon and start to draw it back in the other way. So right now, I can open this up. Oops, I might be able to open this up. If I can do this one-handed. Should be able to. Okay. So I got this going. The level will start coming down pretty quick. You can see it coming down. Now this pipe goes into this cap probably about an inch. So any heavy particulates that are in there will just settle on the cap, and they won't go anywhere else. So right now, this container here is filling up with just antifreeze and no oil. The oil's up on the top. Like I said, all you have to do is just watch, and then as soon as you see anything come into here at all, then you have to move the container away. I'm still good for a little bit on this one though. Alright, and as you can see, the previously empty container is now, of course I'm not facing into the light, so that's making it look darker than it actually is. We can see this stuff it's clear now. You can see right through it. And then this is all I've got left for oil. So now this oil, I'll top off into one of those containers there. And that's it. Hey, stay away from this. I gotta clean this up before you get in here, Mr. Man. Don't want your pets licking antifreeze. That's not great. Actually, it's pretty deadly. This might be that earth-friendly antifreeze, but I'm not going to take a chance. He's short. Little could do him in. Which is why I keep this extra dirt here. Sorry, Yorkie. No antifreeze for you. I covered it with dirt. And, oh, I was going to try and show you the rest of the oil dripping down. Because the oil generally takes longer to drip down than the antifreeze does. But the remainder of the oil's in here. What do you think, Ted? And then the antifreeze is over there. And if you do screw up at all, the amount of oil that's going to be in the antifreeze left over is going to be negligible at best. This has been separating for about a day and a half. Now I can run this through again and completely clear it out, well, not necessarily completely clear it out, but at least clear out, 100% of the visible oil. There's probably still going to be, I wouldn't use this antifreeze again in anything, not unless you were really in a bind, but this would work if you are actually in a bind. So as an extra added tip, if you do decide to run like another batch through, and you've got stuff in the line and you don't want to contaminate your container, you can hold this end of the line up in the air after obviously cleaning it off pretty well, blow into it, and then clear the line. And as soon as you blow the oil that's left in this line back into here, it'll float back to the top with the rest of the oil, and that way the next antifreeze container you get ready to fill up, you won't be filling it up with a bunch of junk you don't want. All right, so that's my process for separating oil and water. I'm sure other people have had their own takes on this, but this is my no-buck solution. And I just mixed up a new batch, finishing letting this container drip out. You see there was enough water in there where it actually cleaned out the container, which is sort of rare. So this one's going to be probably mostly antifreeze, and I'm thinking there's probably just going to be a fairly thin layer of oil. So we'll come back and see this in a few hours. Okay, a couple hours later, and you can see there's not as much oil in this one. This one's just got a smaller layer, and then the rest of it all looks pretty clear. Good, so I'll dump that into a new container, and then I'll have another one ready to go. Oop, like that one. It's coming down. Hey there, boss.
Hello. Awesome.
Got my coolant separation process going on here. Oop, gonna have to stop this. Alright. I had to lift that thing up real quick because it was coming out a little bit quicker than I was expecting. There we go. That's a full container that's been culled out of that and a couple others. Got one there that I'm probably going to run through again. But still got quite a bit left, so what I'm going to do is put that into this container that I emptied, and we'll see how much I can get in there. Alright. One last one to do here. See the oil going on the outside of the container. So as it works its way down, I'm seeing less of the...
You talking to me or
both. A little bit to the camera, a little bit to this. I gotta make sure that I lift this thing up as soon as it starts sending oil down the tube, because I can't shut my valve off in time. It's too many turns. Get ready. It changes color quick. And there it goes. Beauty. Right. That is that. Another one bites of dust. A fairly clean container of antifreeze that I probably can't use for anything.